Do not compare, do not measure. No other way is like yours. All other ways deceive and tempt you. You must fulfill the way that is in you. The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. The difference between a good life and a bad life is how well you walk through the fire. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. The most dangerous things in the world are immense accumulations of human beings who are manipulated by only a few heads. Solitude is for me a fount of healing which makes my life worth living. Talking is often a torment for me, and I need many days of silence to recover from the futility of words. Wisdom accepts that all things have two sides. A man likes to believe that he is the master of his soul, but as long as he is unable to control his moods and emotions, or to be conscious of the myriad secret ways in which unconscious factors insinuate themselves into his arrangements and decisions, he is certainly not his own master. Everyone you meet knows something you don't know but need to know. Learn from them. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. Nothing is possible without love, for love puts one in a mood to risk everything. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light of meaning in the darkness of mere being. Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. The dream is the small hidden door in the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul, which opens to that primeval cosmic night that was soul long before there was conscious ego and will be soul far beyond what a conscious ego could ever reach. Embrace your grief, for there, your soul will grow. Conflict exists strictly as an opportunity to raise our consciousness. Real liberation comes not from glossing over or repressing painful states of feeling, but only from experiencing them to the full. When goals go, meaning goes. When meaning goes, purpose goes. When purpose goes, life goes dead on our hands. One finds one's destiny on the path one takes to avoid it. The descent into the depths always seems to precede the ascent. Intuition is one of the four basic psychological functions along with thinking, feeling, and sensing. Every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. One is always in the dark about one's own personality. One needs others to get to know oneself. A man's hatred is always concentrated upon that which makes him conscious of his bad qualities. As a child, I felt myself to be alone, and I am still, because I know things and must hint at things which others apparently know nothing of, and for the most part do not want to know. Much of the evil in the world is due to the fact that man in general is hopelessly unconscious. One looks back with appreciation to the brilliant teachers, but with gratitude to those who touched our human feelings. The curriculum is so much necessary raw material, but warmth is the vital element for the growing plant and for the soul of the child. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. It is far better take things as they come along with patience and equanimity. The ability to ask questions is the greatest resource in learning the truth. In each of us is another whom we do not know, He speaks to us in dreams and tells us how differently he sees us from the way we see ourselves. The sad truth is that man's real life consists of a complex of inexorable opposites: day and night, birth and death, happiness and misery, good and evil. We are not even sure that one will prevail against the other, that good will overcome evil or joy defeat pain. Life is a battleground. It always has been and always will be. And if it were not so, existence would come to an end. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. When you are up against a wall, put down roots like a tree until clarity comes from deeper sources to see over that wall and grow. How can anyone see straight when he does not see himself and the darkness he unconsciously carries with him into all his dealings? You must go in quest of yourself, and you will find yourself again only in the simple and forgotten things. Nothing affects the life of a child so much as the unlived life of its parent. What did you do as a child that made that hours pass like minutes? Herein lies the key to your earthy pursuits. Only one who has risked the fight with the self and is not overcome by it wins the treasure hard to attain. He alone has a genuine claim to self-confidence, for he has faced the dark ground of his self and thereby has gained himself. This experience gives him faith and trust. Our world has become dehumanized. Man feels himself isolated in the cosmos because he is no longer involved in nature. I feel very strongly that I am under the influence of things or questions which were left incomplete and unanswered by my parents and grandparents and more distant ancestors. It often seems as if there were an impersonal karma within a family which is passed on from parents to children. It has always seemed to me that I had to answer questions which fate had posed to my forefathers, and which had not yet been answered, or as if I had to complete or perhaps continue things which previous ages had left unfinished. Enlightenment doesn't occur from sitting around visualizing images of light, but from integrating the darker aspects of the self into the conscious personality. I could not say I believe. I know. I have had the experience of being gripped by something that is stronger than myself, something that people call God. It is high time that we realize that it is pointless to praise the light and preach it if nobody can see it. It is much more needful to preach the art of seeing. Intuition is perception via the unconscious that brings forth ideas, images, new possibilities and ways out of blocked situations. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, their love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol or morphine or idealism. You must live life in such a spirit that you make in every moment the best of possibilities. The man who promises everything is sure to fulfill nothing, and everyone who promises too much is in danger of using evil means in order to carry out his promises, and is already on the road to perdition. Conflicts create the fire of affects and emotions, and like every fire, it has two aspects: that of burning and that of giving light. When an individual does not become conscious of their inner contradictions, the world acts out the conflict and is torn in opposite halves. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. Never do human beings speculate more or have more opinions, than about things which they do not understand. The more veiled becomes the outside world, steadily losing in color, tone, and passions, the more urgently the inner world calls us. There is a deep need in the world just now for guidance, almost any sort of spiritual guidance. Deeply listening to music opens up new avenues of research I'd never even dreamed of. I feel from now on music should be an essential part of every analysis. The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves. There can be no transforming of darkness into light and of apathy into movement without emotion. So friends, tell us by commenting which of Carl Jung's quotes you liked, and also subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that our upcoming videos reach you easily.